Welcome to another episode of Comedians Writing Stand-Up Comedy Jokes. One day I'll write a better name for that, but for right now, it SEOs. I'm joined today by Monroe Martin. Legendary.
Ooh, thank you.
And you say your podcast, what was the name of your podcast, Monroe?
It is called Public Property.
Public Property. This man is This man is socialist to the core with his podcast.
Yeah, I don't know. I ain't shit. I ain't
no, I got a chance to open for Monroe at the Comedy Arena in McKinney. Very interesting seeing such a powerful performance in such a small venue, but it was dope. It was dope.
I had a good time.
It was always a good time there, and I'm just excited about the show. The way this works is we're each going to take two rough joke ideas, pitch them, talk through the process, and see what happens. So, ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage, trying to get better a little bit today. We're all trying to get better. Monroe Martin with his first joke idea. Let's hear it.
Let's see. What did I do last night? So, I have this. It worked last night, but it's going to be, I hope it's going to be a beast. So, I said, I wish I knew Palestinian women were beautiful in the beginning, right? Because I don't protest, but that's definitely a protest I'll be a part of. And like, you know what I mean? Like, if Palestine would just lead with they bad bitches, they would get way more support. You know? Because that's really anyone ever care about. Like, is the person in need pretty? If not, I'm sorry.
Oh man, I think they shout out like from the river to the sea. Have you heard that? Have you heard that?
No, what's that?
It's like a chant. I think it's problematic, so I don't want to act like I understand it. But like, there's this chant. There's this chant from the river to the sea. Okay. And I think it's funny if you. Yeah, but I think it'd be funny if you're like more like from the window to the wall.
I gotta figure out what from the window to the sea is. But yeah,
river. It's about the borders. They're trying to move the borders of like where Gaza is. So they're trying like the chant is basically like give us more land or something like. I'm not an expert on it, but it's about give us more land.
I get the joke. Okay, I get the joke now. Yeah. I get it. I wouldn't do a rap reference, but I see where you're going with it.
The parallel,
parallel. I didn't get it from the window to the wall.
Walls from the river to the sea.
Yeah.
All these Gaza Strip. Skip. I don't know, that's so offensive. We started the pot hot.
But is it offensive if it's is it offensive? Like, that's the thing. What's offensive about it? I'm like, like, I'm just pointing out the obvious is that good looking groups get fucking help. If we would just see some Instagram accounts with some fucking Palestinian women just You know how their accounts be doing the fucking water challenge. If we seen Palestine just flood the market with fucking with some beautiful women, we be like, we be having resorts over there. That'll be fine.
I think
we'll have troops on the ground. I'm telling you.
I think you should compare it to like other famous conflicts too. Like think of like, and I think it probably hits better if you don't do race again, because it's such a racial thing. So like if you could come up with other protests.
But how is it a racial thing? It's a religious thing because they live on the same place. They're the same people. They just believe in two different things.
It is. I mean, are we going to get into this? Is this what the pod's going to be about? So I think one of the big issues.
We can talk about whatever.
Let's do it. All right. Arslan, my editor is a Pakistani Muslim. Arslan, I'm sorry, you're going to have to sit through this. Okay, so I think it is racial, as I understand it. It is racial because one of the big issues is that Israel has a migration policy where any like ethnic Jew, anyone that claims Judaism of a certain extent, can migrate in, and that is eventually displacing the other people. So they're saying people of this lineage, people of this heritage are more important. And I think I'm butchering it. Again, I don't have a dog in this fight, but that is the racial component. If you're of this bloodline and if you're this heritage and you claim this within Judaism, you have like first right, and then they're displacing.
So let me ask you a question: do they look alike? Do they look alike?
To us, yeah, hell yeah, to us.
So I would just be like, I would just keep my mouth shut until I get in. Like no one ever, like no Palestinian ever snuck into a club. Yeah. They tell you no shirt, no hats, no shoes. Nigga, put it in the trunk. Fuck that shit. Put it in the trunk and look, you just want your land back. Be sneaky, nigga. Be a Trojan horse. Right? So be like, ta-da, nigga, I was Muslim the whole time. Y'all couldn't tell because we had the same haircut.
Yo, that's good on your original. So the original premise is that if you knew how hot these chicks were, you'd be protesting, right? Mm-hmm. I think that's good, and I think you could.
And then the second, is to the naked eye. To us, they're the same. Yeah, and it's and we can't tell. And why don't they use that to their advantage? You know how many people just told me they were Jewish? I knew so many white people my whole life, and these niggas never brought up being Jewish. And now they're Jewish because they just kept they didn't say shit. But it's somewhere in there. I can play around with that shit.
I just watched The Black Klansman with my wife. And Adam Driver's character plays an undercover Jewish cop that goes into the Klan. And the Klan had to ask him, "Are you a Jew?" Because they don't really know, right? They're like, "Are you a Jew?" Are you a Jew though? But
and you don't gotta tell the truth. You're like, what?
Yeah, they would never do that with black. Are you a black?
Exactly. We don't get that. It's black everything. You be Jamaican, you be Haitian, you can be Dominican. As long as you look like this, they're like, "Oh, you black?"
I like it.
And some people ain't even black, but they be like, "Yeah," because they just trying to get something out of it.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You ever watch that show? A little bit?
Here and there.
There's a really funny episode where the guys are trying to get laid and they go to an abortion protest because like their original thought is, oh, all the girls that are pro-choice are going to put out. And they're like, it's this brilliant strategy to get laid. And then they go and then the girls are all like super feminists and don't want to have sex with them. So they hop the fence and they go over to the other side. And like because the Christian chicks are like super sexually repressed. But I think there's something here. You've got, what I'm saying is I think the formula works. The idea of you have this serious protest, but you're trying to get some. You're just a devious guy. I think that formula works. And then the question is like, what parallels do you want to make? I think the idea that you just thought it was bad bitches. You thought like pro-Palestine was pro-bad bitches, but they're on both sides. And now you can't tell the difference. And you're like, what do you guys even fight? Like, what are you guys fighting about? Like, it's just hot chicks on both sides. Like,
now you making it about the chicks. I'm making it about the overall thing of we care when it's sexy. Sexy things don't get attention. I know this from the foster care thing. Like we did plenty of PR growing up. We met plenty of politicians. The cute light-skinned kids usually got to be first, and then it's the musical kids, and then it's the sports kids. It's the same thing. They sell to us by putting attractive things. That's why whenever they need something to donate, there's a celebrity to tell us how bad this little girl needs us to donate to her cancer. Because showing us this little girl isn't enough. We're going to have to balance it with Jennifer Aniston, nigga. So my thing is, Palestine, you want help? Send out your bad bitches. Because that's what people pay attention to. So it's not about me wanting to fuck. It's about me knowing how, at least here's my idea on how to get people to give a shit.
Dude, that
it's not attractive. People don't give a fuck.
I think, I clearly now I understand the premise a little better. That's deep. There's no charity for ugly kids.
Absolutely not, nigga. Every time I see a kid with a cleft lip, like they be donating, they're like, this nigga look like he mad at me. Like he don't.
Cleft lip, yes. Lazy eye, you're on
your own.
You're on your own. You're on your own. In fact, not only that, they call you lazy. It's a lazy eye. Like it's your choice. They're like, he's just choosing to have vision issues. Yeah, I like that. So what other? So we got. No one cared about Palestine until these Instagram, influencers.
No one will care about Palestine until. That's the thing, because people like, I don't know. At least being in New York, it ain't as booming as they make it seem. I walked through a Palestinian protest. That shit was popping.
Yeah,
that's where the idea came from. I was like, who the fuck are these little baddies? What the fuck is happening? I thought I walked through and got their Puerto Rican parade or something.
I like it. I like the idea. I like the idea that you thought it was a Puerto Rican parade for a minute. That's funny. Okay, dude, I think that's a banger. Let's I'm gonna bust out one and we'll talk through it and see what happens. So I was at dinner like Friday, like 5 days ago or something like that. 6 days ago, I was at dinner. And it was after a content shoot we were doing, making ads for a liquor company. So it was me and it was two girls, and they were cute, not like not Playboy models, but cute girls. And one of my buddies who is a comedian, and the girls just started talking about their exes, and then the girl was like, "Yeah, my ex has a 10-inch dick," and the other girl was like, "Yeah, my ex has a 10-inch dick too. I know how it is," and like I usually don't get involved in this shit, but like just something deeply angered me that like mathematically this was not possible. I was like, look, 10-inch dicks exist. And at the time that this argument started, I knew I was right, but I didn't have the math to back it up. But they argued with me for like 45 minutes and I was Googling shit and showing them fucking statistical significance.
Yeah.
The odds of a 10-inch dick is about 1 in 200 million.
Okay.
An actual dick that hits 10. And here's the thing. These guys could have been 9. They could have been 8.75. I'm not saying big dicks don't exist. I'm not hating on it. They could be 9.8. But to actually hit 10, it gets rarer and rarer every little extra quarter inch that you go up into the stratosphere. I played college basketball. And all these guys would claim to be 7 feet tall when they're not. They're 6'10", 6'9". They're like, oh yeah, but in shoes and 3 pairs of socks, I'm 7. Like there's so few 7-footers that like 1 out of 5 of them is in the NBA. Like stop adding inches to your name that you don't have. And these two girls are here and they're like, no, it was 10 inches. It was 10 inches. I'm like, like I just showed you the math. It isn't. So I start looking for shit in the room that's 10 inches. And we were at a restaurant with chopsticks. So I pull out the fucking chopsticks. I'm like, look, this is 9.1 inches. Hold this right now. And I had him hold it. I'm like, is it bigger than that? And the one girl like put it in her hands and she's like, no. So she, like the one girl admitted she was wrong. But this other girl, I'm now like 5 days into arguing with this girl. And like, I keep sending her studies and like YouTube videos and like, she just won't back off. And finally I've been asking for a dick pic for like 3 days. I've been like, just send me the dick pic. I'm going to put it in an iPhone app. I'm going to pull out like the circumference and the shadow, like CSI. But like, I just, it's not about the dick at this point. It's about how confidently wrong they both were. And about like people claiming shit that like comics that claim they're a headliner when they're not because they did a bar show, and basketball players that say they're a 7-footer when they're 6'10". Like these two chicks had just enraged me with how casually they were like, yeah, 10 inches.
I don't know. There's something there. That shit is funny because you went down this whole wormhole and I'm like, what?
It's not a joke. What? It's a real thing that happened. It's a real thing.
I can tell by the passion that you're telling me. Yes. That you're retelling the story. Are you romantically? Did you want to be romantically involved with these ladies?
So again, full disclosure, I had already hooked up with one of the girls.
Oh, so there's something in it where you were like, nah, fuck that. Because was it after you or
no,
the current dude?
Like again, just keeping after way after me, but like also keeping it a buck, right? Like like this girl fucks like big black athletes. Like I'm not over here. I'm not over here acting like I have to be the biggest dick a girl has ever seen. I'm 34. I don't have that self-confidence issue. Like I'm not. This isn't about my dick being big. This wasn't the conversation. This was about what you said is wrong. It's so ignorant. I just don't want you saying it to me, and I'm not going to acknowledge it. It's like,
that's so funny.
It's so worse than like trans pronouns. I'll call a trans person by their pronoun all day. This is like if a trans person was like, I'm 8 feet tall. What the fuck? Ma'am, no, you are not. It's like I'm not. You can't be 8 feet tall. I'm sorry. Like some of this shit, we have to draw the line somewhere. I choose here. I choose right here, right now, on this guy's dick. There was a guy in my fucking college who was trying to say he was 7 feet tall. Dude was 6'9". Dude was 6'9".
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing? It's D3. We're not even on scholarship. Like how are you gonna try to claim?
Like, why are you lying, yo? Like,
why you also
making that stake, like getting it? Yeah,
you look worse. Like if you were a 7-footer and you're not on scholarship, like how bad are you?
Yeah, no, that's funny. There's a way to tie that in there.
Yeah, so it was continuing last night. I saw her. She came out to my show, and like the first thing, like I got off stage and I was like really happy because I just first time I ever did 50 minutes. I got off stage. I got a good recording of it. Shook some people's hands. I saw this bitch. I was like, "You're gonna admit it's not 10." And like I walked straight up to her. I was like,
"You held the microphone in your hand. You're like, does it look like this?"
Well, she won't. I think the thing where we're at right now in this story is she won't show. She has a picture of it and she won't show it to me, and I'm furious. Yeah, like
because she knows that it's not. That's what you think.
I think part of it is she knows.
Not to protect his privacy. Okay.
It's her. She's trying to not be wrong at this point. Yeah.
Okay.
Because she's shown other people the dick pic.
Oh.
Because this is like a whole 5-day thing.
That's weird. Okay.
There's like 20 people involved in this argument.
So she's gathering the consensus before she comes back to you.
Everyone is on my side.
Yeah.
Everyone is on my. I've turned everyone to my side. Like, yeah, and I think that's why she won't show me. She showed the picture to some people, like, oh, this is, and it's big. And I'm not saying it isn't big, but like, she's like, oh, I'll garner support by showing people, and they're like, 10 is a lot. Josh pulled out the chopstick. Chopstick's pretty long. And it's longer than the. This is the longest. By the way, I have no dick jokes.
Fun. This is the longest dick joke ever.
This is the longest dick joke ever. I don't even have a dick. I don't have a single. I'm 5 years in comedy. I don't have a single dick joke. So this would be my first dick rant.
Yeah, you can even say that. This is my first dick rant, and it's more about how you just can't let people have their glory and live in their world. This woman just wants to live in a world where she got a 10-inch dick at home, and you're like, it's not. No, you don't.
It's stolen valor. It's like someone in the Coast Guard. It's like when someone in the Coast Guard says, "I served." It's like, fuck you. Yeah. Like you in the Coast Guard. It's not the same. There are Navy SEALs. You don't get to be a volunteer firefighter and be like, "Hey, me and a Navy SEAL, we're the same thing." No. I'm angry. I'm like legitimately. This is not a purple.
I see you going through it. Yeah, that's so funny.
I did the actual numbers. How many guys do you think have a 10-inch dick? If you were gonna guess, you're a big guy. You're
in
a big
the
guy.
World.
You're what?
How many people in the world?
You're 6'5". You're a big guy. You've been around some big guys, right? Yeah.
Right.
Because I'm saying
that dingalings though.
I get that. I'm saying, but a 5'5" girl doesn't understand like male body. Like as you're a man and you get bigger, like you understand like how people fight, how they run. Like you know what a 7-footer is. You understand that. right? Like a 5'4" girl doesn't know the difference between a 6'8" guy and a 7-foot guy. She can't do that by eyeball. Like someone has to help her out for her to figure out that height distance. I'm saying you have a concept of what we're talking about. What is your guess?
No, I know what you're talking about. My guess, I don't know. Like, just give me the number of people in the world, and then
There's 7 billion. There's 7 billion, maybe 8 billion people in the world. Probably 7.5 billion people in the world.
Like 200 million.
You think there's 200
in the world?
Million?
Does that make sense?
10-inch dicks. It's not a bad guess. My wife's my fucking wife guessed.
Yeah.
That set. I was like, hey, how many guys do you think have a 10-inch dick? And my own fucking wife was like, 7% of guys is what she said. I was like, what are you talking about? What? Women are bad at math, dude. Like, it's not even like, it's just objectively true at this point. Okay.
There's a Hidden Figures joke in there somewhere.
Ooh, I like Hidden Figure. Yeah. Woman math. Like, hey, when a woman is good at math, they make a movie about it. Like, Okay, so I found a really good statistical study that takes like the bell curve, like you would see like on an IQ chart, where one standard deviation. So in the middle, you have like a 5.5-inch dick. That's like the exact middle, and like that's the 50th percentile. And then every time you move, I think it was about a 1/2 inch. It's like a standard deviation, right?
Okay.
So 66% of men are between like a 4.9 and 6.1 inch dick. That covers 2/3 of all men. It's like it's barely like a little over an inch of a space, and 2/3 of men are there. And then you start to go out, and the band gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Long story short, I saw a very reputable math-based study. I'll post the link in the description of this YouTube video. And it suggested that to have a truly 10-inch dick is 1 in 500 million. A 500 million. That would mean there's like 14 to 16 guys on the entire fucking planet that are actually 10 inches. So there's always outliers and genetic mutations. The math model is usually not 100% right. So I was like, let's give it a fucking power law. Let's add a 10. Let's put a 0 on it. That would still only get us to 140 to 200 men. And by the way, that's the whole world. Some of these guys are 65-year-old rice farmers that are not on the dating market, right? Like one of these guys is a 17-year-old that you can't legally fuck. And you bitches are going to tell me, both of you at this dinner table right now, that each of your ex was 10 inches. Like mic drop. No. It's a 500 million. The mathematical odds. It's better. You'd have a better chance to win the lottery. You know how many lottery? There's like a couple hundred people that win the lottery every single year. It's hundreds of people win the lottery. It's not even 20 guys have that dick. I'm sorry.
For some reason, is this how you... Dude, that's so funny. I see you doing this bit, but like the mic is in the stand and you're breaking it down and you're using your fingers. And like, and if you think about this and this, you know what a bell chart is, right? You know what a bell, like, you have to do all of that shit.
It's a stealth. It's like a stealth algebra lesson or geometry lesson. Yeah. Like, it's like I gotta put 5 minutes of like, we all have to agree on, we have to have a common basis for this math. This is new math. Like, what is it? What do they call it? Common Core?
Yeah. This is Terrence Howard math.
This is cock core. This is common cock. This is I don't know.
This is calculus. This is just shit.
Calculus. Yeah.
Calculus.
So I gotta resolve. I think from a writing standpoint, I gotta give this some time, right? Like I can't go out there trying to make it
all
funny
jokes need to, but you make it funny by doing it. It's not funny, but you gotta be funny in the moment because things will change. There may be a where people seize up in the moment, and in your head you predicted that they be like, So you gotta know how to get through that shit. You gotta know how to flip things around and twist it and find the wording through it. So it's not done on paper.
I was thinking it needs a conclusion where either I'm right or she's right. And so I've been thinking about either I get the pick from her or I either she gives it to me or I get it. I thought about that.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to commit a crime though. But the other option is I've never met this dude, but I know his name. Like, how much money would I have to offer him before he would let me make a plaster mold of his dick? Like, if I was like $100, I just need you to make a mold. I'm gonna send you the equipment. You make a mold, Venmo, like right there. Like, this is science. Then I'm gonna walk in with a dildo I printed out. I'll be like, look. I don't know. I don't
know. There's something there.
I'm not even trying to. Okay. All right. We'll get off. We've been on dicks for a minute. All right. Joke number 3. Monroe Martin coming up to the stage with joke number 2. Let's talk through it. What's up?
The other night I was talking about I want to die instantly. If it's two things I want to happen in life: Mega Millions or instant death. Like Mega Millions to like just pay off everybody's debt or whatever, so people can have just like a little restart, feel good about themselves, like take care of my family. And instant death, because if I don't want to be on my deathbed. I don't want to be on my deathbed in the point where I can't say shit, but I'm conscious of like who's around. And then I just have like those people who I couldn't fucking stand them, but they're coming and they're like looking and they're like, hey, we here to support. And I just can't be like, get him the fuck out of here, yo. You know, like I want to be instant. I want it to be instant. I don't want like a fucking slow watching everybody more me. Like this shit gotta be quick.
Yeah, I like the idea. First off,
I forgot what the point was. I made a point. I gotta listen to it. It's somewhere. I recorded it, but I didn't write it down. I was writing.
I mean, I'll riff off of what you just said. I mean, what I heard you say is that, like, well, first of all, I think that a quick death is a baller move. Like,
right? Instantaneous.
Yeah. Because you think about quick deaths, right? Bruce Willis and Armageddon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Baller death, right?
Yeah.
The 9/11 hijackers.
Yeah.
Baller death. Like even if you disagree with it.
But
like
do you think they die instantly? Like what if one of them still like felt the sizzle against their skin? Like one of
I don't.
They didn't. You think it was instant?
That's instant. That's jet. Instant? That's jet fuel and secret bombs and a 900 miles per hour, whatever it was. No, that's as close to instant as you can get.
Okay.
Soldiers that dive on grenades.
Yo.
Instant. Kobe.
Yeah, instant.
Horrific. And it was probably
instant.
But instant. Like he didn't suffer.
Yeah, I don't care how horrific. It just has to be immediate. It just has to be, he didn't survive it. He didn't even feel that shit.
So I'm done.
And then just show people the part that survived. So it's just like we only found his arm.
I love that you set up that an instant death is like baller. It's like it's cool, but also I think you can contrast that to when someone lingers. Like I don't want to linger. Like your family flies out to see you right before you die.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't want to be the person that everyone comes to see and they're making phone calls like, yeah, he on his way out. They say he'll be out on Tuesday, and I'm hearing them fucking talk about flight arrangements like, oh, well, I can't find a flight until I'm going to figure it out. Well, I don't think I can make it. Like, I don't want to hear any of that shit. Just let me go.
I'm running out of PTO. This dude better die. Like,
dude, I feel like you see, I don't know. There's something in there about just because at some point it becomes about the people. It don't become about you. You become the thing. You become the thing that I seen. You know what I mean? Where people are just coming to see you to say they seen you.
Yeah. Well, also it's like a party, right? You have a party, and people when you invite people over to your house for a party, depending on like your age group, there's like an expectation for what's cool. So like where I'm at in my life. If I invite people over to my house, it'd be super weird if they showed up before 7 p.m. Why you showing up to my house before 7 p.m.? That's weird. And it would be really weird if they were still around at 2 a.m. This ain't a club. Why are you in my house at 2 a.m.?
Lingering. That's fine.
Yeah, why are you lingering? And so like you don't want to like people that have had cancer for 6 years in their 70s. It's like, why are you at my house party at 5 a.m.? Like just go.
Yeah.
Like just go. No one wants you here.
No, it's something in there.
I think you say it about yourself. Because if you say it about other people, it sounds like you're punching down a cancer. So if you're like,
I'm talking about myself. I'm not talking.
I know. So if you're like, I don't want to be the guy that's at the house party at 4 a.m. Like I don't want all my loved ones to be like, will you just leave?
Yeah, I just want people out.
Yeah. Or like, you try to give a good, like, it's hard to have like a last impression, and so you try to give like a good speech.
No, I'm not worried about my impression. I'm worried about motherfuckers just being it. Like, I don't know. It's more about. It's more about just let me go and pee. Like I don't like the whole spectacle.
Yeah.
Of what people make. Like especially with social media, like people will take their moms, right? This is the person who raised them. They're like, this is my mom. I love her. She's been here. She's taking care of me her whole life. Her mom looked like mush in the bed. Yeah. And she is getting her best angle. She makes sure she look good. And whoever's taking the picture, they make sure they look good, right? They angled it. They done snuggled up with the mom.
Oh.
Fucking nestled in. The mom sitting there looking like soup in a fucking bag. Like, and all for like let me go. That's what I'm focusing on. I'm like, let me go. I don't want to be fucking a wax statue. That's basically what you turn into. You become a fucking exhibit that the family got to see to say they got a picture.
Like if my granddaughter is ever using me as a prop for likes, I want to pull the plug. Like I'll pull the plug myself on her Instagram live. Like I'll just like pop it off right there,
Could fucking pull the plug. Yes.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So that's what it's more about. Like I don't want to be that part. I don't want to be like, shit. Because I don't know if that's just coming up in my feed, but there's been a lot of like accounts of like women just wheeling around they're just laying next to their granddad. It's like, oh, he hasn't moved in 90 days. And it's like, and you didn't fucking prop him up and fucking stretch his legs? You're just taking pictures and videos and shit?
There's a couple. There's probably more than one, but I'm thinking of an influencer couple where like the girl is like completely healthy. Like a normal, healthy, hot, probably like mid-30s, early 30s woman. And the husband has I don't know the name of it, but like he's a full quadriplegic. Like he can only move like his neck. And they make and like, good for them. Like love finds a way. I'm not gonna sit here and say someone doesn't deserve love, but their TikTok channel is absurd. It's like people ask me all the time, is he rich? No. Like people ask me like,
I know what you're talking about. I've seen that one.
Yeah.
Yo, I've seen that one.
Yeah, but like flip that around for a second. Like imagine if my wife and I were making videos. This is the most dick-based this podcast has ever been. And my wife my wife goes on and it's just her pointing at me and like people ask if he has a good dick. No, it's garbage. People ask if he makes any money. No, he's broke as fuck. People ask if he has a great personality. No, I find him boring. It's like, why are you with this dude? Like, why are you making videos like this? He's right there. Like, why? Like, that woman is using that man for clout. She might love him. She might love him. I'm not going to say she doesn't love him, but a decision was made to use his situation for clout. And the videos are very specifically designed for that. And it's like, you don't want to be that. You're like, I don't want to be that. I don't want to empower that. I feel that.
Yeah.
Something on that, man. There's something deep.
There's something there.
You could link that back to the ugly kids. The ugly charity.
Those are two different thoughts.
But you could link it back. I'm saying if you're making the point that you have the ugly kids don't get any attention over here. It has to be. We were talking about like the cleft lip. Cleft
Mm-hmm.
can go viral. And then over
Yeah.
here, it's like people trying to use dying people. Is like, unless it's like an ugly dying person. Like if you die ugly, you don't see that
Yeah.
photo. Like grandma's got to die hot.
No, I'm saying they're complete. I get what you're saying. I don't want to tie them in because they have similar joke things.
Yeah.
I think they're two completely different thoughts. That's what I'm saying. Like the death thing is probably going to tie into other shit about mortality, and then the protest thing will tie into things about just like how I see the world or how I see people, how people respond to shit.
From your writing process, are you more of like a concept? Like when you go up there, are you going like,
Yeah, I'm
okay,
just trying to have a
concept?
conversation. That's my thing. I looked at comedy like I'm in this bitch for the long term. And if you're in it for the long term, you got to just figure out how to live up there. And I'm like, all right, what do I like doing? I like making jokes, but also comedy is giving me the ability to get other perspectives. And the only way I can do that is by asking a question, right? So I pose what I think and I form this thought, and I'm like, all right, here's what I think. Your laughter and your reaction determines if, like, where the rest of the joke goes. So now that I'm laughing, I'm like, oh, okay, we kind of think the same way. Or if we don't think the same way, now I'm like, all right, what am I not saying? Oh, okay, now there's another joke, and there's another way for me to grow material. So at the same time I'm making jokes, I'm also just trying to have a conversation just to be like, what's going on? What's happening in life? What y'all want to talk about? But
go ahead.
I'm never trying to. I got out of that. I used to be a jokey person, and then I just got out of it because I was like, that's going to be tiring to me.
Yep.
Where I'm like, I'm just going to have to always fix my brain to be like, Where the shows that I like going to and the comics that made me love comedy were all these people who just released these albums and shit. And these were albums that people listened to. And then after they were done, they had conversations. And it was like, yo, this comic was talking about this. What do you think about this? He brought up a good question. I never seen it like that. And I'm always trying to do that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I'm always trying to be like, hey, at the end of the day, I just want to understand and just put out this material or these thoughts in my head in a funny way.
Do you ever find, because I saw you 4 times. I think I stayed in for almost 3. I was on the phone for one of them. But I remember several jokes like talking about your wife where you were hitting the same topics, but didn't do it the same way at all. Like almost were like talking, like finding it, like looking for it or processing it. So do you ever find a bar or an angle where you're like, oh, okay, let me make sure that that's always in there? Because for me, I have different types of jokes, right? Like I have my jokes where it's more storytelling. So like last night I had a sushi joke that I close on, and it's like when I'm doing a longer set, it's very good as a closer. I couldn't do it as an opener because it's like 10 minutes and it kind of involves me being on mushrooms too. So I'm not going to do that as an opener. It's just not really the most appropriate thing, right? Feature, it's fine. But I was doing my set last night and I got to that story. I don't have the story written out. I just have moments that always happen. So it's like you play a video game and you can kind of like do anything you want, but then to go to the next level, there's this one event that has to happen. And then
I know
it goes to the next scene. So like, do you have, first of all, first question, do you have hinges like that where like it's a forced moment that has to happen? And then the second question is, would you ever wordsmith the hinges, or do you completely freestyle the hinges too? Does that make sense?
It's a mixture. No, I feel like when you're doing a set, there's every time, how can I put this? Every time I get on stage or whatever, I'm not doing a set, right? So that's until I get the set, until I'm like, yo, this is what I'm presenting as the hour or whatever, or I need to get it down so I can sell it, I'm going to just keep switching shit up. Because I heard Chris Rock say this one time in an interview where he was like, you know, the bet, like, it's you want to take a topic and have so many entries and exits. You want to have as many angles and perspectives as possible with that, because you want to be you want to be able to bring it up, and no matter what happens in that moment, know where the funny is, and know
Yep.
that, okay, if this ain't hitting, then this gonna hit, and this
So
gonna
you
hit,
go,
right.
you
So
go up. Walk me through
mhm.
this. So you go up. You're about to headline. You're about to do an hour.
So if I'm doing an hour, if I'm not focusing on getting a set done, I'm going up. I have bullet points. The most important thing is my connection. I'm like, do these people, not if they like me or not, because if they don't like me, there's still a connection.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're
Yeah.
like, I don't
Yes.
fucking like what this dude is saying. And that's fine too. You can not like me, but I've laughed at a lot of people I don't like. We
Yeah.
we watch movies and root for people we don't like at the end. So you don't gotta like me. But once you are invested, I'm like, all right, fuck it. Now I'm a see what I can say and get away with, and then just go up there and work through these topics.
So when you have these topics, like you're gonna go up and you have an hour,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
How many bullet points do you think you would go up with?
At least 7.
7.
At least like 7 bullet points.
And is it gonna say, like, for example, politics, or is it gonna say Republicans racist? Like how many levels down? Is it super broad, like where it's just like public, like is it politics, Republicans racist, Iowa voting rigged, Republicans? Like that's still bullet points, right? But like you start at the top and it's super broad, or is it like, is it at the point where it's an idea without an angle, or is it like,
varies?
Okay.
It varies. Sometimes we've all been here, where sometimes the joke will form the opinion, all this shit, right? Like you may think of something that's so funny, but you go, fuck, man, what does this apply to? So sometimes you re-engineer it like that, and the only way you can remember it is by writing down that joke, right? Or that punch. And then sometimes from there, I may have a chunk of shit that I'm like the foster care shit and the wife shit. Like, I think that's the longest stuff I have. So with that, I may just write foster care into a part where I go. So I'll go foster care, then I'll go how foster care affects me now, and I'll make those bullet points. You know, and then I'm like, all right, as long as I hit this. And I go, here, I know these jokes are a part of this thing. And I know I switch gears or have to start talking about this type of stuff when I hit this area. When I get to, how's it affecting my relationship? Now I'm going to start talking about being married and having kids. And then from having kids, maybe it goes into some topical shit that I seen in the news that involves kids or whatever, and then segue that into maybe more family shit or more topical shit. But that's what I'm just trying to get to these lily pads, and it doesn't matter how I get to it, because somebody may say something, right? Somebody may say something, and maybe not even negative. They may say something that makes me think of something, and now I'm like, fuck, that's so funny. I got a perfect banger over here that I thought about or I've been sitting on. Let me bring that up. Oh shit. Okay, that hit. That got it. All right. Let me see what else can come together. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like, I'm trying to think of the right analogy, but the way you're describing it, there's some things that you're saying that I do, and I think there's some things I haven't got to yet. But like I'm 5 years in, and I just started going back to jokes that are like 2 or 3 years old, where it didn't really work, but there was something there, and like my voice and my pen now can fix it. So it's like I had the little baby idea, but I couldn't get it through. And so like a couple times I've been on stage doing a bit this about now, and something happened, and I remembered the shit that didn't work 3 years ago, and I'm like, oh, I can I know how to fix that now. I've earned the right to say that or make that make sense. But what you're talking about is more like it's like writing on stage, but also it sounds like you're editing on stage.
No, I'm doing it all on stage. I'm writing and editing on stage because I can't edit it. The writing portion for me is just so I can send it to so I can send it to my manager if I'm trying to get something. If I'm trying to if I need to usually when you submit a set to something. I think things are changing, but if you do a late night, you're going to need the video and you're going to need the telescript because they're going to have that shit prompted up. So you need to write and stuff like that for that. And I do that, but I have to figure it out on stage because not all the audiences are the same. So if I'm sitting here and I'm writing and I'm like, who am I writing this for? Because they're not there. They're in my head, and there's never going to be an audience that is as perfect as the audience in my head.
Yeah, yeah.
The audience in my head is fucking giving me standing ovations. You know what I mean? The audience in my head, when I think something funny, when I write it down, I'm like, that shit pop. Whoa! And then you bring it to the audience, and they're going to be like, that gonna need some tweaking. You're gonna have to fucking tweak it a little bit, screw some shit on. So I'm like, I'd rather do my editing on stage because that's where I'm gonna find the best moments.
Hell yeah.
I'm dealing in reality.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love that so much. And how I'll ask you, we kind of turned into a stealth ambush interview here.
No, my bad.
It's I wanted this. Like and the pod's early, right? Like the pod is definitely for comics for sure. But I also think it's for like people who want to understand how to be funny, how to be likable, because like a lot of these lessons, I don't care if you're in public speaking or you're in sales, right? Like for us, it's about crushing a set and getting a bunch of laughs, but you would be a fool to not apply this type of wisdom to sales because that's how you pay rent. That's how you eat. I mean, it's how we do. I mean, more you than me, but like that's how you fucking eat. You eat because you're funny. Yes. It's crazy to me that salespeople will not study the craft of the speaking and the conversion and the empathy and the storytelling. It's like you got to build that connection if you're going to get that sale. So like, anyway, how this is a personal.
You're a salesman, ain't you?
I'm not. I guess. I fuck, so I'm a salesperson in that regard. Like I'm selling myself, right? Like I'm dick. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be 10 inches because it's not even comfortable. You know, most women, the cervix wouldn't even fit 10 inches. You would need a hospital gurney. Okay, I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ.
I'm having a heart attack. No, I'm in tech actually. I'm a lawyer. Okay. I'm a lawyer.
I knew you were a lawyer. I thought like maybe something else is there too.
I've done some sales stuff. I raised money. I had a startup. I raised money for it. So like I was selling myself to investors. I'll sell myself to banks and shit. But yeah, I'm a comic for life, especially after last night. Last night was my coming out party. You know, I'm not a fucking hobbyist. Like I'm a comedian. Yeah. Everything else I do is just gathering walnuts and like getting ready for winter so that I can go 100% full time into comedy. I had a 2-hour conversation with my wife this morning about what we need to do as a family to put me in a position to be doing comedy full time, and we're road mapping it. So I take this shit.
Oh shit! You had a conversation with the family, then?
Yeah, no, because she started it too. She started it too. She was like, hey, like I've always believed in you, but like last night, like I got to see like everyone believe in you, and that was great. That was crazy. And like you need to do this more. Like she's like you. That's you. Everything else like you're doing. And some of that I do for her. Like I work for her. Like and I'm so thankful for her because like I'm sure you relate to this because I've heard your set. I have my own rough childhood, right? You not as rough as yours. I'm not trying to compare, but like I have my own
rough competition. Childhood. I ain't thinking.
I'm just saying.
You can have a rough childhood too.
We both. It was rough to both of us, but it left me with some really bad habits in terms of taking care of myself. Like I would risk too much. I'm big gambling. Like, you know, when I
Mm-hmm.
was younger, I'm in my 30s now, so it's chill. But when I was in my 20s, very violent. I got in a lot of fights, just a lot of anger and self harm. When my wife is around, it has like changed me, because now it's not just I don't care about myself, I'm not going to take care of myself. It's like, oh, I will die for this woman, so I have to take care of myself so I can take care of her. Like I can't be out till 7 a.m. because I got to take care of her. I got to go into work. So it's like she's saved me from myself in so many ways, and I'm so thankful for that. But
that's dope.
Going all into comedy sounds kind of chaotic. It sounds a little like self-harm, right? So like to have her for the first time be like, hey, jump. You know, it's like it feels good. Okay.
So you gotta.
I'll talk about
jump.
this in a minute. In a minute. It's on. We're road mapping it. It's gonna happen. I can't tell you if it's a, you know, maybe 3 months, maybe 12, but we're gonna get it
work
together.
Your plan. You got to work your plan. Yeah.
We're figuring it out.
Yeah.
And I also anyway, yeah. Okay. Last joke. This has been a fucking good pod, but it's off the roadmap of the traditional. It's off the formula. We're just real here, dude. I love it. Okay. Again, super rough. I this fits into what we were just saying. I got some vices. I got some vices when I was younger. Used to be a lot of alcohol, a little bit of fighting, and now I'm addicted to Dave Ramsey financial advice videos.
Who the fuck is that old dude with the white hair?
The old dude with the white hair. I'm addicted. Like
wait, let me make sure I check on the right. I'm listening to you.
Yeah, like it's the same formula every single time. Someone calls in, they're like, Dave, I got $40,000 of credit card debt. I don't know how I'm gonna pay it. And he's like, first thing you got to do is you got to stop, you know, going out to eat. You got to live like you broke because you're broke. And he just kind of roasts them. Like they just call in because he never actually gives financial advice. Like I've listened to 50 plus hours of this dude and he's never once given actual advice. He's an insult comic that hides it behind the Bible, because like someone will call and they'll be like, Dave, I got $40,000 of credit card debt. He's like, that's because you a dummy. You an ugly dummy, and that's why you spending so much on makeup. But you got to be honest with yourself that you're ugly, and if you stop spending money on makeup, you're going to pay this debt off. Here's what I need you to do. I need you to pay the debt. All right, next caller. Like, that's it. Like, he never gives you any advice. One dude, and the thing is, it's an addiction. And why is it an addiction? Because I don't watch all of the videos.
Yeah.
I just keep picking the video with the bigger debt amount, because it's like I started off and 40K made me feel like, oh, maybe my life isn't that bad, because I got about 100,000 in student loans.
Shit,
that hangs.
But you like a genius with numbers. You done measure the world's dicks, the world of dicks. So you're like a mathematical genius.
Without disclosing, I don't want to disclose my exact, right. Like I feel comfortable saying I have 100,000 in student loans. That is an honest statement.
Yeah.
I also have stocks, I have bonds, I have a cash position. It's not like I'm not in the whole 100, right?
Yeah.
But I do have.
They ain't getting their money no time soon.
I mean, I make payments. I'm not missing payments, but also the money's we're not rich, and we're not in trouble. We're very working class. But I do have a bill for $100,000, so I don't feel that good watching the video where the guy's like, "Hi, Dave, I have $37,000 of student loans." And I'm like, right? But then I saw the video. It was like, "Dave, I have $400,000 student loans." I was like, "Oh, that makes me feel like I'm better than him. Like it makes me feel like, oh, my life's not." It's kind of like Jerry Springer. It's like a white people with a job version of Jerry Springer, I think, where it's like it's not like baby daddy, drug problem, prostitute. It's like, oh, you gonna be broke forever. I'm only broke for 24 years if I keep going into work, but you're gonna be broke forever. You just get to look down on somebody, and I'm just addicted. There was a guy with $1 million of debt.
Who was it, Kanye?
No, it was just a fucking guy trying to be a dentist, and he had $1 million of debt. and the math wasn't good. He only made like 180,000 a year, and you hear that and you go, wow, that's awesome. The interest payment on his student debt, just the interest was like 78,000 a year. So after he pays taxes and he pays the interest, dude's living on like 45K just to make payments. And he's like, he's stressed out. He's stressed out. And like he took forbearance for a couple years, so it went up. There's a lot here. Okay, so the joke is I'm addicted to Dave Ramsey. It needs to be like specific example, something.
Well, no, it just you need to find a way to get me as excited, not me, the audience as excited as you are. Because you're going, I'm like, it's just, you can, I like jokes that were, not jokes, but like if the audience doesn't know, like I thought Dave Ramsey was somebody else, but I looked him up and I was like, oh, I don't know this guy. Yeah. But the way you were excited and you were telling me about it, I'm like, that's the joke. That's like the part of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you just got to figure out how to get us on board with like, holy shit. This nigga, he a dad. Like I don't know what he is. I got to watch his videos too. But I'm sitting here and I'm like, I got to see this.
It's millions of people watch this shit. Like it is captivating. I think that it's one of those things where I think sometimes something will go viral and becomes like a part of the culture, but we don't start talking about it enough. You know what I mean? Especially with like YouTube and stuff. It's not a cultural meme. It's not a discussion. We're all doing it and we don't realize the other people are doing it. It's like millions of people are watching this fringe financial peace guy, but they're not millions of people are not talking about it. Like I might be the first comic. I'm probably not, but I might be the first comic to do, material on it. And that in its own way is kind of exciting because you find a thing. Like I feel like I'm probably the only, in fact, I know this for a fact. I am the only stand-up comedian that does jokes about having a fantasy basketball YouTube channel. Because there's only like 12 channels. So like I know the other guys and they're not a stand-up. So there's something powerful about being one of one. Like you're not trying to be better than 50 other people. You're the only one doing it, and you're just trying to be the best you. I think that's cool. Fuck yeah, dude. Thank you so much for coming on, man.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it, yo. I had a good time.
It's a vibe. You had a special just drop. Talk about it.
Yes, it's live from Nairobi. Monroe Martin live from Nairobi. 20 minutes. Go check it out. It was fun. I had a good time in Nairobi.
Awesome. Dude, I think you're really funny. I look forward to like seeing everything continue to blow up for you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate
seeing the work you put in. Anytime you're ever considering Texas, give me a heads up. I'll make sure I pull some strings for you here. I got Texas covered.
All right, will do, man.
All right, bro. Talk to you later, man. Much love.
Talk to you later, Josh.